Hyperstition is a neologism that combines the words hyper and superstition to describe the action of successful ideas in the arena of culture. Akin to neo-Darwinist Richard Dawkins' concept of memes, hyperstitions work at the deeper evolutionary level of social organization, in that they influence the course taken by cultural evolution. Unlike memes, however, hyperstitions describe a specific category of ideas. Coined by renegade academics, the Cybernetic Culture Research Unit, CCRU, hyperstition describes both the effects and the mechanisms of apocalyptic postmodern phase-out or meltdown culture. Functioning as magical sigils or engineering diagrams, hyperstitions are ideas that, once downloaded into the cultural mainframe, engender apocalyptic positive feedback cycles. Whether couched as religious mystery teaching or as secular credo, hyperstitions act as catalysts, engendering further and faster change and subversion. Describing the effect of very real cultural anxieties about the future, hyperstitions refer to exponentially accelerating social transformations. The very real socio-economic makeover of Western and increasingly global society by the hyperstitions of Judeo-Christianity and free market capitalism are good examples of hyperstitional feedback cycles. As Nick Land explains, capitalism incarnates hyperstitional dynamics at an unprecedented and unsurpassable level of intensity, turning mundane economic speculation into an effective world historical force. Not only do the ideas themselves function as hyperstitions, but the trauma and fear engendered by their cultural makeovers, whether in the form of crusade, jihad, secular war, industrial revolution, or economic reform, merely serve to further empower the basic premise and fan the flames. Popular anxieties about the uncertainties of the future procured by rapid change are not merely the issue of ignorance, explains historian Felipe Fernandez Armesto. Rather, they are symptoms of a world in the grip of future shock. Those who find change unbearable not only expect it to become uncontainable, but work to make it so by fanning the flames of paranoia. Future shock is one mechanism whereby hyperstition works to bring about the causal conditions for apocalypse. Once started, a hyperstition spreads like a virus, and with unpredictable effects. They are Chinese puzzle boxes, opening to unfold to reveal numerous sorcerous interventions in the world of history, explains Land. It's not a simple question of true or false with hyperstitions, explains Land. Rather, it's a question of transmuting fictions into truths. Belief in this context isn't passive. As the CCRU website explains, the situation is closer to the modern phenomenon of hype than religious or rational belief, as we'd ordinarily think about them. Hype actually makes things happen and uses belief as a positive power. Just because it's not real now doesn't mean it won't be real at some point in the future, and once it's real, in a sense, it's always been. Hyperstitions, by their very existence as ideas, function causally to bring about their own reality, explains the CCRU's Nick Land. The hyperstitional object is no mere figment or social construction, but it is in a very real way conjured into being by the approach taken to it. Even conventional historians allude to this process. As Fernandez Armesto cautions in Civilizations, illusions, if people believe in them, change the course of history. Falling outside the parameters of conventional philosophy, the concept of hyperstition subscribes to what French post-structuralists Deleuze and Guattari have broadly termed schizoanalysis. Unlike conventional philosophy, with its predilection for Platonic fascist top-down solutions, explains Nick Land in Meltdown, schizoanalysis avoids seeing ideas as static, 1995-2. Rather, it favors an approach that sees ideas as diagrams that are additive rather than substitutive, and immanent rather than transcendent, executed by functional complexes of currents, switches, and loops, caught in scaling reverberations. Primed to create what Deleuze and Guattari have termed bodies without organs, BWOs, namely metaphorical exploration devices of the kind crafted by engineers, artists, and even junkies to map new cognitive territories. Schizoanalysis denotes a technique that can be utilized for analyzing hyperstitions. The BWO, like a hyperstition, indicates an inchoate flux of deterritorialized energy, a speeding up. After all, the investigation and crafting of novel directions for culture, implied by BWOs and other types of schizoanalysis, necessitates an investigation of the very mechanisms of cultural overdrive or meltdown. Fictions that explore these areas are in themselves hyperstitional, functioning to speed things up and bring about the very condition of apocalypse.